Hey guys, Average Joe here, and I'm back with a couple of videos. The first video is going to be how to identify a counterfeit or a knockoff or a copy of the Bowflex 552 Series 2. The second video will be how to install my kit on a copy of the 552 Series 2. The installation on these is a little bit different. So if you do own a copy, then you're going to want to watch that video to understand how to install one of these kits on your dumbbell. So, first thing that's most obvious about copies is, or at least the most obvious copies, is that they will either have no logo or the wrong logo on the crossbar, the red crossbar. Sometimes it'll be a funny name, like it might say dumbbell. I'm not kidding. But for the ones that I've seen that really do try to rip off the Bowflex, you might see an authentic logo on here. So there are other things that you can look for to identify it as a copy. But in this particular case, this one is, very obviously a copy. It would have the logo on. This is authentic. Of course, this also has my kit on it, so it's non-original, but this is an authentic version, and this is a copy. Now, second thing that you want to look for is that end cap. On an authentic one, this is the typical end cap. On a copy, it's usually this. You might see these, but again, there are other things you can look for. So if a copy has logo here and has a logo here like this, then you'll have to look for the other details as well. But this is very obviously a copied version. This is from that authentic dumbbell. The next thing that you can look for is the color of the dials themselves. Now, on this video, it's a little bit difficult for the color to come through correctly, but it's almost like a blue-gray. On the authentic, it is more like a very light gray. So you can kind of see the difference there on that coloring. Now, again, you may find a copy that has this coloring. Fortunately, there are more things that you can look for to see if it's a copy. So the next thing that you can look at is the grip itself. You can see on this grip, they happen to make it smooth. And of course, on the authentic, it's loaded with Bowflex logos. Okay. Now, again, a copy may have that kind of grip, but there's more that you can look for. The next thing you can look at are the buttons on the bottom. Authentic, always black. And the locking pin is always black. On the copies, it'll either be white, pure white, or this bluish, grayish white, as well as the locking pin itself will be this same color. So that's the next thing you can look for. But if your copy has a black one, there's another thing you can look for. This plate. This plate is on most copies. I've seen this. And the dead giveaway is the width of this gap and the width of the teeth. Look at the authentic. The gap is smaller and the teeth are wider than on the copies. Always. I've not yet seen a copy with this particular type of plate. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but it means that if you see this, 99% chance, or 100% chance actually, that it's a copy. If you see this, then it could still be a copy. I'll show you yet another difference. So on the authentic 552 Series 2, you will 99.9% of the time see an Allen head screw on all of these fittings. There's 4 of them here on each side of the handle, and they are Allen style. Let me see if I can zoom that. There you go. Now, in contrast, almost always, pretty much on every copy I've ever seen, they are Phillips. Now, they may not be silver. they may be black, but they will still be a Phillips style screw. So that is yet another detail, and this is probably on pretty much most every copy I've seen definitely has this on it. I've seen no copies yet that have had the Allens on them. So again, you've got to look for whether or not this has a logo, and if the logo says Bowflex or not. And then you want to look for whether or not this has a logo and whether it says Bowflex or not. You want to look at the color of the dial to see if it's more the natural color, kind of whitish gray, or if it's this funky bluish gray. You want to look at the button. If the button is not black, copy. You want to look at this plate and make sure that, again, wider gaps with narrower teeth is a copy, and this is authentic. You want to look at the screws and make sure that they are the Allen and not the Phillips. And you want to make sure that the grip has the logos and isn't smooth. If it has any or all of these elements, it is a copy. And if it's a copy, my kit still fits the copy, but it requires a slightly different install, and I will get to that in the next video. Thanks for watching, and if you like my videos, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. I'm trying to get to a point where I'm able to do live streams, and that takes a minimum of 1,000 subscribers, so I would appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.